And good morning, everybody. Silas back today. Just loaded up those tractor grills and that wiper cabinet. The guy was driving through town and saw me on Marketplace and bought those. And then another guy brought out a whole bunch of late 40s, early 50s Chevy pickup parts. I'll show you more about those here in just a second. But now I got a guy here with a 66 Chevy, I think it is. All right, got everybody taken care of. Let's check this stuff out. Here's the 66 Impala that I just got. This was on Marketplace for $300. Couldn't pass it up for that price. Pretty rough car, honestly. It's not like super rusty. The quarter panels are good. A little bit of rust down here in the fenders, but it's smacked in the face. He said something like a car pulled out in front of him years and years ago, and that's how it got wrecked like this. And then somebody stole the front hubs off of it or something. I don't remember all the details of what he was saying on it exactly. I just figured for $300 the guy couldn't pass it up. Oh, and then somebody ripped their way into the trunk. He said he went to the Old Settlers reunion in 1980 and he put that sticker on his car as he was leaving and he wrecked it on the way home. And so that's how long it's been parked. It's been off the road now for what, 44 years, almost 45 years. But it's got AC in it, looks like, under the dash, so we can get a door open. That might be something cool. I didn't even know that. I never saw any pictures of the inside. I just saw pictures of the outside. Oh wow, yeah, it does have, what is that? Can't tell the brand. I don't have my glasses on. Looks like Fridge King. Yeah, Fridge King. AC under it, so that might be something good. Just an AM radio, nothing special there. But yeah, I'm sure the floors in this car probably aren't too terrible. They probably have some rust, but just judging by the rest of the car, how solid it is, I'd say the floors are probably halfway decent. Unfortunately, sitting out in the field, I mean, they get bumped, they get bonked, they get pretty tore up. So body-wise, it's kind of beat up. But like I say, it's not rusty, so maybe somebody wanted to cut it up for patch panels. It'd be good for that. It's got the engine in it still, 289, but it's a rat nest. It's still complete, it has the carburetor and all, but man, or not 289, 283, I'm sorry. And then here's all the Chevy stuff that I bought this morning. There's a tailgate, a grill, another tailgate, radiator support, there's a rear fender, 2 sets of doors, and they're pretty dirty. They were laying down in the dirt, but they're not rusted out. So I'm glad the guy that brought them to me got them when he did, because, you know, after a few more years, they probably would have started rusting all the way through. A couple front fenders off of a pickup, and then here's a complete front clip off of a pickup. This is the same pickup that those 2 doors there, you can see the color matches this, and that tailgate came off of. There's the front bumper. Got a full set of these wheels here, and then some running boards and a front filler panel. They're all pretty rusty, but once again, they might have patch panels or brackets or stuff like that on them that are good. And then another guy just brought me this GMC. I'm not sure what year it is, 55 to 57, with single headlights like this. It's an old military truck. Still has the military riding under the hood and got the green paint. It runs and drives. We couldn't get it to start a minute ago, but it fired right up and drove on his trailer the day he bought it on Saturday, so I'm not sure why it wouldn't start today. But it's solid up above the windshield, just a little bit of bubble rust, but not nearly as bad as they usually are. The A-pillars are all still solid, not rusted out, but I'm not sure what engine's in it. They said it was a 292, which obviously isn't correct. Probably a 272, but being military, there's a chance that it's a 302. And so if it's a 302, I'm probably going to part this truck out for sure. That's a pretty valuable engine. But if it's a 272, I may try to sell the whole thing. But yeah, I'm going to try to figure out what engine's in that real quick, and then I'll move it in. And I'm probably not going to bother moving this other stuff in right now. I've got a lot going on today. Today is my wife's birthday, and so we want to go do something this afternoon. So I've got to get everything done this morning. I had a bunch of people supposed to call and sell me cars today. I haven't heard from a single one of them, so I know what they're going to do. They're all going to wait until 10 minutes before I have to leave, and then they're going to want to sell their car. And this video is actually going to cover several days, and I think the main purpose of this video that I'm doing right now is that I want to get back out to that farm cleanup and work on that some more. So this is just kind of the what's the opening of a book called? I can't think right now. I'm tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. Hey Siri, what's the introduction to a book called?
The introduction to a book is called a preface.
Oh, preface. Okay, that's the word I was looking for. But buckle up, right along with me. Let's get some work done. Oh yeah, got a bonus on this one. This is a 302. There's a little pad down there beside the distributor that has the number stamped on it. When I saw that it was a military truck, I thought there was a chance it would be a 302. Sure enough, it is. That is awesome. So it looks like this truck is a goner. We're gonna knock it out. But okay, let's get it moved in and get out to the other yard. Now that's a tight fit. And get this car right here. This is where it's always handy when me and my dad would haul cars together, having a second person to be able to turn the wheel while you winch. Or if that was on a remote like my trailer, that'd be cool. I don't know if they make rollbacks on a remote. Good old flat tires. That should spin the front around, and then I'll have to come back down here and straighten it out again in a second. Well, because the one tire is flat, it actually straightened itself out. So I'll just go ahead and winch it on. It won't be on there exactly straight, but in town hauls like this, I don't really care. Now the next test is hopefully the car clears this. We'll find out in a second. It's a tight fit, but it fits. If this was a pickup, I wouldn't have been able to do this, or even a minivan or something like that. I would have had to hook onto it all the way there and drag it all the way out. But being a car, no problem. Looky there. There's one of the old apartments I grew up in when I was a kid. That upstairs one on there on the left. There used to be a porch swing up there. My mom and I would sit up there. Lots of memories in this neighborhood. I think it's actually a better neighborhood now than it was then. It was pretty rough back in those days, but they tore most of those houses down. Oh, that's what I smell. Man, I stepped in a cat or dog pile. It smelled horrible in there. I'm here getting fuel now. I lost my gas cap, so I have to use a pair of pliers to get it off of here. But man, I've been smelling something. I wondered what it was. I'm just glad it was on my shoe and not on my sleeve or something like that. And good morning. Here's the first load for today. Kind of an awkward load. Not a whole lot of stuff on here, but this roller and that door are very heavy. And so this is a good weight load, just not a whole lot of stuff on this load. This piece here, I hit a big bump and it decided it was going to crumble and just about fall off. Luckily this strap held it, and so I hopped off real quick and put another strap going up to it to hold it from going any further. I always take the back roads with no traffic at all, so it wasn't a big deal. But I'm going to fire up the loader, get all this unloaded, go back and try to get 2 more loads out of there today. I can't film them loading the stuff. I'm not allowed to have cameras or nothing like that where this stuff comes from. So unfortunately I can't show you any of that, explain any of that. But at least you got to see the stuff here. I'll take all this stuff and crush it in cars later. Not today. I have a bunch of cars I got to haul this afternoon. Everybody decided to sell their cars today, so let's get busy. Unfortunately, for me to be able to get the stuff unloaded, I have to park right here in the middle of this mud puddle. Fortunately, these boots are mostly waterproof. But this is the third and final load for today. I have 2 more loads I'm going to have to get tomorrow out of there, so it looks like the farm cleanup is going to get postponed a little bit longer than I thought. These are pretty heavy loads though. Check this thing out. This is solid steel. I mean, that's my hand compared to this. I don't even know what that weighs, but it's heavy. Then of course all these brackets, these aren't brackets, they're racks is what they are, that they deliver other stuff on, and they obviously don't have a use for the racks. They're one-time use only, and so they just scrap what's left over. But yeah, I'm going to get this unloaded, and then I have, I think, 4, maybe 5 cars I got to get hauled this afternoon yet. These are some big old pieces here. This is the 3rd and final load for today. And well, this is the final load period for a while at least, but this is the 3rd load of today. I forget what these pieces weigh. They weigh 21,000 kilos with the thing on them that's usually on them. By themselves, they're still pretty heavy. I just can't remember the exact weight. They're too big to fit in the crusher, and so I'm gonna have to take these out back and wait till a future day, and then we'll cut them in half and then I can crush them. This has been wild. I have steel brackets everywhere. Those steel brackets over there, those silver ones off in the distance, I got, I forget how many trailer loads of those here. I think 3 or 4 trailer loads of those a while back. I crushed some of them, but I still have half of them. I got these black ones all over the place. I got these rusty ones. Out back there's a whole bunch. There's some more of those silver ones there. I've got brackets running out my ears. They're not brackets, I keep calling them that, but they're stands. But yeah, those over there aren't heavy enough to send in direct on the semi. These here are heavy enough, but they only had these 3 and then that one single that's still on the trailer, and that's not enough for a whole semi load. And he said they're not going to have any more for a little while, and something about the CEO of the company is coming in here in a week or 2, and they wanted to have all this stuff gone before they got there. That way it looks cleaner. So really, I kind of just took these as a favor to get it cleaned up out there for them. They do us a lot of favors working with us, so I'll do them a favor and get it cleaned up. They're kind of awkward to move around. It took me probably 5 minutes to figure out how to get underneath them to get them off my trailer. These forks don't fit inside the grooves where they're supposed to quite, about a ½ inch too wide. And then my pallet forks are about 6 inches too short, and they don't quite reach that far bracket to pick them up in the middle. The phone was ringing. They wanted to know if we recycle computer monitors. I get at least 1 call a day, sometimes 2 calls a day, of people wanting to know if we recycle cardboard and glass and computer monitors and clothing and stuff like that. And books. I had a guy call the other day, had a whole semi-load of books he wanted to know if we would recycle. But yeah, anyway, we shipped in a whole semi-load of these not too long ago. And that was nice because we were able to send the semi direct, pick them up, ship them straight in, and we didn't have to handle them. Didn't make nearly as much money on them, but like I say, we didn't have to handle them. But I'll just stash these out back. What I'll do with these eventually probably is if I just cut it, there's a piece of I-beam right there. If I cut that I-beam, cut that tubing, cut that tubing, cut that I-beam, looking at probably 15 minutes per thing, and then I can crush each part in cars. So they won't be that big of a deal. I just have to wait until my dad's back at it again. That way I have time to run the torch. I haven't had time for the torch in quite a while now. Everything's so underwater out here, I'm having a hard time finding a place to put this stuff. But I think right here will work good. I plan on going back out to the farm tomorrow. I've been planning on going out there all week, and it just hasn't happened. One thing after another, after another, after another. That's why people are always like, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? You need to fix them cars and sell them, or you need to part them cars out better, or this or that, just on and on and on. You see how busy I am already, like I have time to do more. I just realized I forgot to tell you what these things weigh. These weigh about 2,500 pounds each. There we go, loaded a couple oldies up. That's one I bought a long time ago, and it's just been sitting out back and it was kind of in the way. So I thought, you know what, before I get something dropped on it, I'm gonna haul it out to my place and stack it in the pile out back. I don't care about the main body, but I want to cut the ends of it off. And then that truck there is sold. A guy is coming to pick that up later in the week, but I won't be at this yard that day, so he's gonna meet me at the other yard. And there goes a rail car clear full of scrap. I don't know what's in these. I don't see anything, so either it's heavy scrap, but that's all like shred material down there, so that's cool. People always ask why I don't load crushed cars on these rail tracks right here, why I don't put another spur in, and just the cost of freight is astronomical to ship in those containers and those on rail cars like that. And then you have to put cables over the bundles. You have to put 4 cables per bundle, and you don't get your cables back. You basically just donate them, so that's another cost or expense. And then you don't get that much more money out of them. If we had our own shredder, then yeah, it would make sense to put in a rail spur here and load, but we don't. So I'm sure people will still ask that in the comments on every single crushing video, but for those that are watching this video, now you know. If you guys watch my videos all the time, you know I always talked about how this area back here was always a swamp. Well, the swamp has returned for the first time in several years. Out in the middle is almost a foot deep of water, so I'm not getting anything out of there for a while. I wanted to finish crushing some of this area out, but just didn't quite get it done in time. And now it's cooler temperatures, and so it doesn't evaporate as much, and so this will probably be a mud pit until next year now. Oh well, these cars have been here this long, they can sit here and wait another year. I tell you what, these racks make some ugly bundles. That is for sure. They're crushing though. Those black ones don't crush at all. They have to crush down into something. But those silver ones, they kind of splatter over to the side. They don't like it, but they do it. The problem is there's just not enough weight in those things, especially those silver ones. Those things are really bulky for what they weigh. They're only about 700 pounds. And then these black ones here are kind of smaller ones. They're only about 700 pounds. But ones like those down there, those are a little bit bigger sized, and they weigh closer to 1,000 pounds a piece. Let's say, there's a ton there, or just under a ton actually. So if I could stack those 3 high, that'd be 3,000 pounds, maybe 4 high even. So that would be what, 2 tons? I don't know. I'm just trying to think, if I put those in the dumpster and line them up in there, I could probably get 3, maybe 4, no, probably 3 of those in the space that one bundle takes up. So if they weigh 2 tons, that'd only be 6 tons in the space that I could put 10 tons of crush bale. But what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is, I ordered trucks. They're gonna be here on Monday. And so I think what I'll do is take like 2 bundles like this, load those in there. That way I can stick those at the front. That way I'm guaranteed to have, there's probably, there's over 10 tons right here between these 2 bundles. So if I got my 10 tons in there, and then I can get 6 tons, and then I always have a little bit of room left over at the back, I could probably get another couple tons. So I could probably get another 8 tons. So yeah, that'd be about 18 tons. That would be plenty for one of those trucks. I have to get at least 15 to 16 tons. That's like bare minimum. And if I ship too many that light, they get upset. But I shipped a bunch the other week that were weighing like 22 and 23 tons of load. They were way overloaded. I can't believe they didn't shoot me out for that. That happy medium is between 18 and 20 tons. That's where I really like to be. So I think I'll be all right with just 2 bundles and then fill the rest of the trailer full of brackets like this. Even if it's, like I say, over 15 tons, I'll be good. There we go. I got enough for 2 loads basically crushed, if I only put 2 bundles in each load. I don't know, it's going to take me longer to load them, so I don't know if they'll be able to get a full 3 loads like they usually do. They may only get 2 loads, but I'll have enough for a 3rd load ready to go if needed. I've got all these stacked up ready to go. There's 5 of them here. I figured I can get 2 bundles and 5 piles in there. This one here is kind of leaning, but once it's in the trailer it'll be fine. So there's enough for 1 load here. I still have to stack the other one, but I'll have plenty of time to do that later. Should be able to get rid of most of these brackets. I keep calling them brackets, these racks. I won't be able to get rid of all of these things just because these things here are a lot more awkward for the amount of weight that they are than the others. So those there, I slipped a few of them in here, but I won't be able to get rid of too many more of those. But those crush a lot easier than the others, so not a big deal. And then also I have those 2 big blue ones. There's one there and another one like that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those yet, so those won't go out. Here's the plan for tomorrow. As long as it's not super windy in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and go out to the farm. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot there. I'm probably just going to try to load that iron box, throw something on the truck real quick. I'm not even going to take my big trailer because it's still loaded. I never had time to unload the couple vehicles I hauled out to the other yard. But tomorrow, I just want to run out there, get that loaded, come back, and then work out here, finish getting these loads ready to go for Monday. It's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to work out at the farm 2 or 3 days this week, but I had to get this factory cleanup done. But that is done now, so next week, hopefully, by the middle of the week or so, I can go out and I can just work at the farm. Like I say, Monday I'll be loading trucks. Tuesday I may have to go look at another farm cleanup, which I don't know why I'm looking at another one when I haven't even finished this one. But she really wants us to look at it, and I think if we just go out there and look at it, we can convince her to wait until after the first of the year. And the way I take it is there's not that much stuff there. So I guess I'll just see you guys in the morning and we'll figure out what we're doing then. And we made it out to the farm. It's a little bit on the chilly side. It just now got up over freezing. I noticed on the truck it said it's 32 or 33 degrees right now. That wind blew and blew and blew until it blew a cold front in. But it's supposed to get up in the 60s today, tomorrow, the next day. So it's going to be pretty nice out. I wish I had time to bring my torch out here because everything's wet and I need to cut some of this stuff up. Like that I need to cut up. I'm going to go ahead and cut all of that stuff up. I tried finding a home for it, but nobody wants to buy it. I think I've sold just about everything that I'm going to be able to sell out of here. So everything else is going to get scrapped. But I don't have time for all that today. I've got to get back to the yard. Problem is why it's taking me so long to get this cleanup done is because even in the time it took me to drive from my house to here, I got 3 phone calls of people 2 of them want to bring cars out, 1 of them wants to bring a load of batteries out. A couple of them are pretty understanding. 1 of them was a little bit upset that I wasn't at the yard right now. And so it's really hard for me to get this done when everybody expects me to be at the yard 24 hours a day. And so I'm not sure what the answer is. I know what the answer is. The answer is just shut my phone off and ignore it. But maybe we'll do that next week, not today. Right now, I'm going to fire up the equipment, go out back, load the iron dumpster, throw something on the rollback, and then get back to town. Making progress, slowly but surely, getting this stuff picked up. This picking the stuff up by hand is what takes the most time, but I think that's most of the little stuff in this area at least. Some of the stuff I probably should take home, like that big electric motor there, these welders or whatever these things are here. I'm sure there's a lot of copper in those, but I just don't have time to save it all. There's that thing over here that had all that good iron stacked on it, and there's probably a lot of good stuff there, but I just pitched, I've got to get this job done, so I just can't keep saving every little thing. I am going to save these yellow deals that still have the floor in them. The other one didn't have a floor on it, but these do make great, I don't know what you want to call them, places to put stuff, keep it out of the dirt. So I am going to keep those. I'm going to keep working my way through here. There's quite a bit of heavy stuff in the bottom of this dumpster now. A lot of good heavy weight, and I'm going to throw this box over here and there real quick. I'm going to throw these in there. Here's a big piece of I-beam, big heavy piece. Here's some more little stuff. We'll get this stuff later. I'm going to grab this thing here, go dump it in there. That's a lot of good heavy weight. Here's some more stuff here, like this cart right here with these roller wheels on it. I really should save that, but I'm not going to. It's going to get pitched. Get some good heavy weight in there, and that way I can get rid of some of this bulky stuff in there as well. I've got all these tables over here. There's a whole bunch more of these. Well, I guess these aren't tables. These are just racks. But over there, there's a bunch of fold-up tables. I was going to save those once again, but I'm not going to. They don't weigh much, though, and they take up a lot of room. So by getting all this heavy stuff in there, I'll be able to get rid of some bulky stuff as well. I've got this piece here. I'm hoping I can make it fit up on top. That's the goal anyway, this big mower. That's the plan. I don't know how well it's going to fit. Really, it should be flipped over upside down, but it's got a lot of stuff laying on top of it. So maybe I'll try to flip it over on the dumpster. I'm pretty good with the loader, but doing stuff like that, sometimes I can't quite get it done, but I'll do my best. putting that big mower thing up on top idea did not work out. I did not realize that the hitch on the front of that didn't pop all the way over. It's pretty solid actually, and it doesn't fold, so that did not work at all. That, and there was that yellow rack table thing in there that snagged everything I was trying to do. But I did notice in the process of doing things that these wings fold up pretty good, and once they're folded up, this will actually fit in the dumpster a long ways, and the wings will be kind of folded up. So on the next dumpster I get, I'll just take this and put it in very first thing, and it'll fit in if I put it lengthways like this with the sides up. Here's a hose. I'll throw it on here for now. At least I got all the junk off of it. When I flipped it over, all the junk fell in the dumpster, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I got a little bit more room in this. I got that plow, and I went ahead and put that disc in there since the mower deck wouldn't fit. I've got some barrels over here in this old truck bed trailer. I'm keeping the truck bed trailer. It's an old Dodge, but it's got all these barrels in it, and they're empty. I don't have a use for them, so that'll be a good place to put some of those. I got that big fuel tank over there. Maybe I can cram that in the dumpster somewhere. I'm trying to get rid of some of this bulky stuff because I've got plenty of weight in this dumpster now, so now's my opportunity to get rid of the bulk. I've still got quite a bit of iron back here. The big hay wagon, chuck wagon, that I'm gonna have to take the top off of it and haul that home, probably on my trailer. I thought I might be able to squeeze it inside the dumpster if I took the top off. The problem is with that deal on the front of it up there, I think it's gonna be too wide sticking out. So rather than go through all that, I think I'll just go ahead and take it home, crush it in a car. I never got to all this racking back here, but we'll put this in the next dumpster. I'll probably, honestly, the next dumpster, move it back here a little bit closer. And so, yeah, there's some good heavy chunks in here, like this piece here, that's heavy. See, there's a bunch of these hog feeders. They smash pretty flat with the loader, so not too worried about it. These cattle feeders, they'll smash out flat. I'm keeping that piece there, that's a good burn ring. Here's some scrap down here in the dirt. I'm keeping the metal sawhorses. Those are good stout ones there, I can use those. I got these firewood racks back here. I'm keeping all of those. I sold the rest of them. There was a whole row of them back on the back row. Sold all those. Here's another wheel here for a good fire ring. I'll be able to sell that. And that's stuff that sells easy and quick, so it's not like I have to take it home and figure out who I'm going to sell it to. There's this rack here. There's two of these racks. I thought about saving them and trying to sell them, but I don't know. I'm not really in the mood for it, but they are nice adjustable arm racks. So, I mean, somebody would probably want these. We'll wait on them for now. Got all this oil filled pipe down here. This is all pretty good stuff for fence posts. I was at an auction the other day and they were selling this stuff for a fortune. It was like 60 or 70 bucks per stick. Blew me away. I couldn't believe it. And it was in worse condition than this. Over here I've got some bigger pipe, but they're real short pieces, so I'll probably just scrap all that. There's some good weight there. Got all that. Got all this over here. There's a whole bunch of sucker rod, but sucker rod's not really worth anything. So those are all really long pieces, a little bit longer than the dumpster itself. So I'll probably have to wait until the bottom of a dumpster for those. That way I can put them in there and kind of fold them up and make them fit. There's a ladder for climbing up the side of a grain silo. There's some cattle gates. I thought about saving the cattle gates. There's some panels over here. And then back here, there's a pile of something on the ground. I don't know what this stuff is, but it looks heavy. So we'll grab that out. The gate stays. That's the actual gate that goes out to this field. It's crazy to think I saw them plow this field before they even planted. That's how long I've been working on this farm cleanup. I'm glad that the wheat started growing before it got windy though, because there for a few days here a couple weeks ago before the rain hit, boy, it was ripping and roaring wind out here. And if this would have still been plowed dirt, man, that would have been like a sandblaster. I'm not sure what their plans are for the property once all this is done. This is kind of the homestead area here. There's two homes, but then all this land goes with it too. It's kind of a bad deal. A lot of people would love to have this homestead land like this. Just, I don't even know what's here. There's probably, between the two homes, probably 15 acres or so. And a lot of people would love to have that, but these big corporations come in and buy it all. They bulldoze the houses and turn it all into farm ground. It's getting harder and harder and harder to afford a homestead site. That's why a lot of people thought I was crazy when I bulldozed that house out on my property, but I bought that property to use it, but that house wasn't really fixable anyway. But at the end of the day, if I wanted to, I could always build another house there. Plus, that's a little bit different situation. This out here, once you get rid of the homestead, it's hard to convince, well, I don't know about here, but some counties, it's hard to convince them to let you build a house. I can't tell if that's something over there in the trees or not. When I have a little bit more time, we'll walk over there and check it out. Yeah, there's a handful of things still scattered around in this area here. Not much. We're getting down quite a bit. Back here, what do we got back here? Oh, the tractor. Yeah, I've got the big tractor. I was gonna stick that in a dumpster and pack junk around it, but man, that's 5 dumpsters then, because that's gonna take up half of a dumpster by itself. There's a bunch of tin back here in these trees. I'm trying to think, oh yeah, there's a bunch more junk down here. This is all pretty small stuff, won't take up much room. Lots of good weight. Old sickle mower, but it's not a John Deere, it's a David Bradley, so not a whole lot of value there. And then inside the goat pen, you guys know I'm tearing down these buildings. I had somebody who was gonna buy the buildings. They came out, looked at them, decided they didn't want them, and a bunch of other people want them, but they don't know when they can take them down, and so on and so forth. So I'm just gonna knock those over and wad those up. Those I'll have to haul home. There's no weight there. I mean, there's weight there, but not enough to put in a dumpster. But there's a whole row of small farm equipment down through those trees right there. Then out in the field, there's a handful of stuff. And then up around the trees, there's a handful of stuff. And way over there by the building, there's a whole pile of iron. I'm guessing there's probably at least 1 dumpster's worth of iron just laying around on the ground inside of here. So that's 5 dumpsters if I haul the tractor home. And then there's a big building. I don't know what's in the building. I'm told there's some stuff in the building that goes. So hopefully there's enough for a whole dumpster. We're getting through it. I think we've shipped in, this will be dumpster number 4 that I just filled. First time I came out here, that was a field of sunflowers. Couldn't even see what was on the other side of it. So yeah, we're looking at 5 dumpsters. And then, oh, I've got that great big hay bale grinder over there. That's too big to fit in a dumpster, and it's too big to haul in the rollback too, so I'll have to haul that home on my trailer. There's a combine over there. I'm gonna haul it home on the trailer. My goal for next week, and I'm really gonna try to stick to this goal now that I'm done with that factory cleanup, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Next week, Monday I gotta load trucks, Tuesday I gotta go look at another job, but then Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday, maybe not, I haven't decided yet, but for sure Wednesday and Thursday I want to come out here and work. And there we go, there's the sketchy load I decided on. This is a piece here that's going to take up too much room in a dumpster, and so I figured I'll take it on here, take it out, crush it in a bundle of cards later. It was too wide hanging off the side, and so I thought, well, I'll stand it up like this, and it's right at the limit. Like if I was any higher, I think I'd be over, but I think I'm probably about 13'6", about 13.5 foot. So, I mean, I have a little bit of clearance. I'll tell you what, I figured I'm gonna pull the carburetors off of these 2 XS 1100s. And this one here, when I pulled it off, I wasn't even expecting it to be full of fuel. I picked it up and it completely soaked my hand and my sleeve in gasoline. So that was a nice surprise. Now I stink like gasoline. Good thing I'm not running the torch this afternoon. But yeah, I'm gonna save the tank off of it as well. But beyond that, I think it is ready to go in the aluminum box. I know there's a lot more good stuff on this and this one here both, but I'm just not into saving every little part right now. I've got to get rid of stuff. Guy took his time. It's probably $1,000 a piece just in little trinket odds and end parts on these things, but man, where do you find the time? And then I figure I'll go ahead and stick that in the crusher and see if we can flatten it. Once again, I tried selling that. It's a good usable piece. They were using it not that long ago, but I had it listed. I finally listed it for $300 for about the last 3 weeks. It's been for sale for $300. I've had a handful of offers for $100, but they were just going to load it on their trailer and haul it in for scrap. So I figured, why not just do that myself? Not sure how this one's going to crush. That tongue's been added on at some point in time. It's a real heavy duty tongue, so I'm hoping it'll fold or break or something, and then I can take it and put it on top of a car. But I guess we'll see what happens. There we go. There's the brackets from the other day. And then here's all the brackets I stacked this afternoon. This is enough for the second load, but honestly these will probably go out first because they're closer to the road. There's not nearly as much weight in these stacks, but it's kind of hard to get these double stacked up like this without them falling all over the place. So I can only do 3 in a stack. I did manage to get 4 in that one, but 2 of them are kind of small. And then this one over here has 3 of those, and then it has whatever that big thing is, so that's a chunk of weight by itself. I'm headed out to get a car now, and it's kind of a weird situation. A guy posted yesterday on one of the local Facebook pages and said, I've got a gold 2000 Honda Accord I'd like to sell. Who in this area buys scrap cars? So I commented on there, left our phone number. About 30 minutes later, a guy calls me and he says, yeah, I've got a 2000 Honda Accord, it's gold, and I just want to know what you'd give for it. So I priced it, and he said, okay, I'll just bring it to you. Would you pay me a little bit better if I bring it to you? Because he's from out of town. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And so he said, okay, I got to get some stuff out of it. I'll call you back when it's ready and when I can bring it. So I said, okay. Well, then this afternoon, a guy calls and he says, yeah, I'm calling you about that Honda Accord, that 2000. I said, oh, okay, yeah, are you on the way in with it? And he says, no, I need you to come pick it up. I don't have a way of hauling it. And I said, oh, okay, well, I told you I'd pay a little bit less if I have to come get it clear out there in Pretty Prairie is the name of the town. And he goes, no, I'm in Haven, which is another small town not far from here. And I said, oh, I thought you said it was in Pretty Prairie. And he says, oh, I haven't talked to you. And I said, you didn't call me yesterday with this car? And he says, no, I didn't. He says, I just now got around to calling everybody on the list. Just wanted to see what you'd get for it. And I said, oh, that's a really weird coincidence that right after I comment on that post about a gold 2000 Honda Accord, another guy calls with a gold 2000 Honda Accord. Just crazy coincidence. But anyway, I got the bid on it, so I'm headed out to get it now. Tomorrow I'll be out at my place doing some stuff. I'm not sure what I'll be doing, so I guess just stay tuned. We'll ride along together. And good morning, everybody. Back out here. Once again, it's chilly right now, but I know it's going to warm up. Got that Honda unhooked. I don't like those cars that have that, what do they call that, camber or whatever, where the wheels are kind of like this and they're real low to the ground. It's kind of hard to load. I tore his yard up a little bit, but not too bad. But I'm out here at my yard now. Got some stuff to do out here. Just got this truck in. He rolled it off last night. This is a pickup. I know it's a longer chassis here. It looks like it's a 3/4 ton that somebody's stretched or done something to, but when I say pickup, I mean the front clip is the same as a 1/2 ton. Just ran out of room in my SD card. I had to switch to internal storage, which is a really cool thing about the camera that I'm using here compared to the GoPros. GoPros don't have internal storage, so when you run out of space, you run out of space. I didn't realize it was getting that low. Anyway, I was talking about how this is a pickup front clip. It'll fit this whole cab and front clip and everything will fit right on a 1/2 ton chassis, no problem. And you can kind of see a quick reference, visual reference. You see how this hood is nice and smooth right here on the corner. If you look at a big truck hood, they're pointy right here. And so the 1.5 ton and bigger have this type of hood. 1 ton and smaller have that type of hood. He threw that hood in on the deal. This truck actually was on Marketplace. This one and another one were together on there. They wanted $1,000 for this one and $500 for the other one, or best offer if you bought both of them. And so I said, I'll take both of them, I'll pay you full price. And they said somebody else is already on the way to get them. And it turned out that the guy that was on the way to get them was actually a friend of mine that I know that I buy stuff from all the time. And so he said, hey, I got these pickups. And I said, how much? And I think he told me $2,100 or $2,200 for the pair of them. But he's throwing in that hood and something else too. So I had to pay a little bit more for him, but I didn't have to go get him. He's delivering them, so I guess it works out. It does have a tack in it. Looks like a Accurate Instruments brand. I'll probably just keep all together and try to sell because it's pretty solid. Cab corners are good. The doors are good. Let's check up in here. Another spot you got to check on these. Yeah, up here where the fender bolts on right here on this kick panel, that usually rust out. Really, for a smaller truck, for a pickup truck, this is a pretty solid truck. It's not rusted along the bead. You got to check around the vent. The vent's all good. Yeah, this is actually a very solid cab. The front clip kind of smacked in the grill, and then it's got some dents in the hood, so the front clip's debatable. But like I say, it is a pickup front clip, so it'll fit on a half ton. A lot of guys like these because the wheel well isn't as big, and so you don't have to run big tires. You can run smaller tires and it still looks okay. You take a truck like that over there and put small tires on it and it wouldn't look good. But then also, this truck came in. This is a 70, I forget what year, mid-70s F600. This truck here looks really ugly, but it's not in that bad a condition. The paint's all coming off of it. They didn't do a very good job of painting it at some point in time. But rust-wise, this cab is actually pretty solid. It's got a little bit of rust up above the windshield, and I mean a little bit here and there, but really the floors are still solid. I mean, compared to most of these things are usually just total rot boxes. A lot of guys like to take this style of door and put them on the pickups, because then you can switch to this style of door handle. They bolt right on, no problem. Guess I'll go ahead and roll the window up while I'm here. It's got a lot of good dash parts in it, a lot of good interior parts, so we may part it out. Honestly, we probably will part it out. I've never sold one of these 70s Ford cabs before. It's got a 330 under the hood. Probably nothing special there. Somebody might want it, but I doubt it. Probably cut the nose off for a wall hanger. This truck was on an online auction, and it had a weird pickup time, and I couldn't make it there to pick the truck up. And I was gonna bid on it. It was going dirt cheap, and I thought, you know what? I just don't have time to mess with it. But then a guy I know, he saw it too, and I said, hey, if you want to buy that truck, you buy it and bring it to me and make some money. And so he said, okay. So he bought it, brought it out here. I think it sold online for $340, $350, something like that is what this brought. It's got a pretty cool Tommy lift on the back of it. It's not an actual Tommy lift, but it's the same style. But it just bolts to the frame back here, and it lowers down. I've never seen one quite like this on a big grain truck before, so that's kind of a neat thing. Oh, I've got this car here sold as well, this turbo coupe. Guy's coming to get that later today, so I got to dig it out, set it out. So, man, lots and lots to do. Oh, and good news, I got this old Ford 1-ton over here. Pretty straight truck. I think it would run with a little bit of tinkering. I got the title for that finally. After 4 or 5 months, guy finally got me the title for it. So I now could actually probably sell this truck. And here's the other truck. Just came in. As you can see, this thing's kind of a rusty, beat up piece of junk. This is a definite good one to cut up for art. This truck's kind of borderline with some new cab corners, a little bit of patch panels. Guy could honestly probably fix this truck, but at the same time, it's got a good pair of doors that'll sell. It's got a lot of good dash parts that'll sell. It's got a good seat core in it. So, I don't know, there's a lot of good parts, but at the same time, it is a buildable cab when you really think about it, because it's solid everywhere except for the cab corners and just a little bit where the fenders bolt on. It's all good up in here. So, I don't know, this is a borderline cab, but definitely the front clip on this one's just junk. Gotta cut this one off. I'm not sure what engines are in these. I guess I can check that real quick. Rat Nest Special, looks like a 216, I'm guessing. It could be a 235, but usually that valve cover is a 216. But I have seen some 235s with that valve cover, but the plugs are out of it, so I'm guessing that engine's pretty well toast anyway. So good parts engine. Just a 235 under the hood of this one, which is a better engine, but it's locked up. I can't get it to turn, but still got a lot of good parts in it. Good carburetor. Man, I tell you what, you know you have too much stuff when you have to spend an hour to find one car. I have been looking for that green Ranchero right there forever. I couldn't remember where it was at. I even came back here twice and looked around, but I forgot that I was thinking all of Sean's cars were in this area, so I didn't really even look in here. These are all ones that I bought from Sean here. But then I remembered I got rid of a bunch of them that were here that were his. I finished parting them out and junked them, and so I had a little bit of empty space, and so I put that Ranchero up in there. Can't believe it took me that long to find that. Sean's up front. He got a bunch of stuff cut off of that 73 LTD, so it's going in the crusher pile. He's working on pulling the GMC cab off now. I got almost everything out front moved in. I've been carrying stuff back and forth. That's what I've been doing all day in between customers. And then I've spent about the last 2 hours, in addition to looking for this car, I've been taking pictures for other people and sending pictures of stuff. And so we'll see if anybody buys anything or if I wasted 2 hours of my day. That's one reason why sometimes it takes me a while to get pictures of stuff for people, is just because I try to heap as many things together at once. That way I can just go do it all at the same time. There's nothing worse than going out of your way to go take pictures of something just for somebody to say, oh, never mind, I don't want it. It's not too bad of a car. The floors are kind of rusty. Tailgate's rusty, but the sides of the body, the fenders, the doors, the quarter panels, a little bit of rust, not too bad, but I mean, it's definitely a buildable car. And I priced it cheap. I mean, I priced it for a whole lot less than it would part out and crush for. There we go. This thing cut up nice and easy. That's the quick way to pull the header panel off. Just cut the whole thing. He could pull it apart later. I ripped open the trunk with the loader to see what was in here, and looks like this was a 400 car. There's the air breather. Got all the goodie out of this one. I mean, there's probably other little trinkets here and there, but pulled the temperature controls, the 2-speed wiper switch, got that out of it, and everything else is pretty brittle and falling apart inside. So like I say, there's probably a few little things, but nothing I'm going to mess with. I tried selling it for a derby car, but nobody wanted it. Just the quarter panels are a little bit too rusty, and it's got a little bit of rust up there on the roof, and they all said that was too much, which is understandable. So now she's ready to go in the crusher pile. They definitely won't want it now with the frame cut off. Didn't get everything done today that I wanted to get done. There's still some more stuff outside I wanted to get moved in, but I'm going to run out of daylight here in about 45 minutes. It's going to be dark. So I'm going to back my truck and my big trailer in. That way it's out of the way. This road over here has been blocked with cars for I don't know how long, so now I have it open to where I can back my truck and trailer just straight in, then I can drive straight out. I don't have to drive through the whole yard and dodge everything anymore. I wanted to get all this stuff moved and a couple more of those vehicles moved, but it just didn't happen. Spent too much time taking pictures. You had to pick and choose which battle you're going to fight, and so I want to get all this stuff picked up and put in this truck bed, get that manure spreader moved. Got a few vehicles back there to get moved. And what'll happen if nobody buys anything after I took all that time to send all those pictures is that then I'll get upset, then I won't send anybody any pictures for a while. That happens every time. I won't get upset, like in mad upset sort of way. I just be like, man, I wasted too much time. I can't afford to do that again. And so then I just won't do it unless somebody seems really, really serious. It's nothing personal. I found that a lot of people like to collect pictures. They don't actually want to buy anything. They just want to see pictures and they want to dream off of those pictures. And I can understand the sentiment behind that. However, as busy as I am, their dreams are costing me a fortune. But I'm going to get the truck backed in, go check on Sean, and hopefully the guy gets here on that turbo coupe. He still hasn't showed up, so hopefully he gets here sooner before it gets too dark. Here's the front clip. I thought just about cutting it off for art, but then I got to looking at it, and man, these are some nice fenders. No rust. I mean, really, I know it's a big truck front clip, but somebody ought to stick that on something if you're slamming a big truck or something like that, or maybe you just want to use some fenders for a big truck and put it back on the road. And the hood's not bad either. It's got a dent in it right here and a couple small dents, but overall it's not bad at all. Very little rust in this truck. I mean, up in here is all solid, cab mounts are all solid, so this truck didn't see much if any salt, that's for sure. So yeah, this whole front clip will keep together. Somebody ought to buy that, or at the very least somebody ought to buy those fenders. And with that, the turbo coupe is paid for. Sean just left a second ago, and as you can see, it is dark. The sun is below the horizon and the moon is a shining. I'm pretty impressed with this camera, judging by what I can see on the screen. My old GoPro, in this dark, you wouldn't even see me at all. You could barely see an outline of my face, maybe. Yeah, I didn't get everything I wanted to get done today, but I got a lot of stuff done. I got my roads open all the way around again. That was a big thing. Got most of the vehicles outside the fence moved in. Got some stuff organized. Got that cab just about ready to pull off of there. So maybe Monday. Oh, I got to load trucks Monday, so I don't know when I'll be back. But I think Sean's coming back out here Monday, so honestly, he'll probably go ahead and knock some more stuff apart while I'm not here. But I've got a big auction to go to tomorrow, and I've got a couple things I got to package for eBay, so I'm going to go home and do that now. I will see you guys in the next adventure. As always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there, find an adventure. We'll see you next time.